Hello and welcome. In this episode, we will cover and explore the fifth reason that can explain why gas prices are and have been so high lately. If you have missed the previous episodes of this series, I encourage you to watch them and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Another reason contributing to the high gas prices that we do not hear much about is that the sellers have started to hoard gas since the beginning of the pandemic. But yet again, if we ask the politicians, they will say that the evil capitalists are voluntarily and maliciously hoarding gas to make record profits. Thus, the government needs to intervene and regulate the industry in response to that. But they are committed to ignore the reality of the other side and the effects that their current and past policies are having on the industry. During the last 2 years, the big sellers went from needing to pay people for getting rid of their stocks of oil and gas back at the start of the lockdowns to a shortage of supply with the current explosion of the demand for gas. On top of that, with the recent restrictions regarding the Russian oil and the resurgence of the climate alarmism, since COVID no longer has the same panic effect in 2022 compared to the last 2 years, the sellers don't really know what to do, and some are taking advantage of the situation. Therefore, many started to hold their stocks and speculate to see where things are going, worsening the shortages and contributing to the spike in the price of gas. There were also the small orders that had an immediate effect on the price and the supply locally. Moreover, there are also governments and big institutions that are making decisions that we can classify as hoarding in some sort of ways, and those decisions have had a definite impact on gas prices. So let's develop on that. Since the beginning of 2021, OPEC Plus, a group of non-OPEC member countries participating in the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries initiatives, decided to start cutting their oil production periodically to complement Saudi Arabia's own cuts. Since its creation in the 60s, this organization and its allies have tried to control the price of oil by reducing the global supply of oil on multiple occasions, since they hold a large percentage of the world's oil reserves and production. Recently, they have announced their most significant supply cut since 2020, starting from November 2022. Saudi Arabia, the leader in practice of this organization, has defended this decision, citing that it is economical and based on their needs, despite their long friendship with the US government and the current energy crisis that is affecting the entire world, especially Western nations. In fact, they have been moving closer and closer toward BRICS since the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, after most of the Western world started to wage a sanction war on Russia. And I feel like they will keep distancing themselves more and more from us, since the Saudis have kept ignoring Biden's and Europe's request to up their oil production, and since the recent threats of Biden to withhold military aid from them have not worked to this day. Besides that, what Biden did looked a lot like a quid pro quo to me, which is very similar to what Trump was unsuccessfully impeached for. Will he get the same treatment as Trump from the media? I doubt it. Anyway.
I think when the Saudis revealed that Joe Biden was not only rejected his request that they would increase production, he was told they would decrease it. He said, okay, can you wait to announce it? for a month until after the midterm. Now, if that was a guy with the last name Trump or DeSantis, wouldn't that be called collusion?
Well, yeah. I mean, literally, he would have been impeached if the Democrat standard would apply to him. I mean, they impeached Donald Trump based on a phone call to Ukraine, about Ukraine. So obviously, we know that there's
the phone
a double
call was,
standard.
don't mismanage our money. That's what it was about.
And there has been a lot of mismanagement. That was an absolutely valid concern that he had.
Give us a question. Since you're, Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization.
You are attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically, Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not appropriate.
In the end, when the biggest oil-producing nations are hoarding in some sort of way and limiting their production for different reasons, you can expect the oil market to be significantly affected by this supply crunch and the gas prices to rise significantly in response to that. Indeed, this is exactly what happened recently with the current and future production cuts of OPEC Plus and Saudi Arabia, combined with the effects of the waves of sanctions on Russia gas market, and with Trudeau's and Biden's desire to end fossil fuel.
We can't shut down the oil sands tomorrow. We need to phase them out.
But kiddo, I want you to just take a look, okay? You don't have to agree, but I want you to look in my eyes. I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel, and I am not going to cooperate. Okay?
This is why they are keeping America's and Canada's oil in the ground and why gas prices are so high right now. In the end, we can see that some sellers are taking advantage of the situation to make more money, and this is not the right thing to do, perhaps. But we also have to look at the global picture. Also, do you really think that gas stations can hike their prices without losing sales when there are several other stations down the road that can adjust their prices to the situation? It is silly to think that markets work like that. Ultimately, I think that we can agree on the fact that different governments in Canada are to blame yet again for this situation. They should just get away and let the free market deal with the problems they have caused, like we have seen repeatedly in the past.
The companies running gas stations and setting those prices at the pump. This is a time of war, global peril, Ukraine. These are not normal times. Bring down the price you are charging at the pump to reflect the cost you are paying for the product. Do it now. Do it today. Your customers, the American people, they need relief now. So let me summarize.
Very nice words, but happens to be wrong.